Hi everyone, welcome back to my Elden Ring series where I make a build for every weapon. In this episode, I'll be covering the Blasphemous Blade, which is a great sword that can be acquired by trading in Rykard's Remembrance at the Round Table Hold. This weapon requires 22 strength, 15 dexterity, and 21 faith to wield, and it scales best with faith followed equally by strength and dex. It has a unique skill which is called Taker's Flames, which lets out a trail of flames that does fire damage while siphoning enemy HP. For this build, I am two-handing the Blasphemous Blade with both the Sacred Seal for casting buffs and the Sacrificial Axe for FP regen in my offhand slots. So I think most of you probably already know that this is one of the most ridiculously powerful weapons in the entire game, if not the single most powerful. The skill damage alone is enough to put it in the top 5, but with its HP regen on top of that, it gets elevated to a whole new level. My grandma could seriously probably beat the game with this sword. And I don't say that to disrespect people who use this weapon. I mean, how could I blame them? It's just simply that strong. In addition to the HP regen from hitting enemies with the skill, the sword itself has an additional innate health regen for every enemy defeated while it is equipped. This makes it a perfect candidate for a lifesteal build if you are into that type of playstyle. To speak more on the Taker's Flame skill, this attack releases a trail of magma in a straight line that has a fairly impressive range, making it very good for both single target damage and crowd control when we are able to line enemies up single file. This skill deals pure fire damage and scales exclusively with faith, so keep that in mind when allocating your stats. Unfortunately, it is a very expensive skill, costing 30 FP per use, so be prepared to invest in a lot of mind if you want to spam it. As for the regular greatsword attacks, this sword gets the default greatsword moveset, which is strong but probably not the thing you want to focus your build around with this sword. In my offhand, I am using the Dragon Communion Seal to cast buff incantations including both Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. We meet the faith requirements for both of these spells, so we might as well boost the already bonkers damage of our Blasphemous Blade with both of them stacked together. It does not matter which seal you use since we don't need to worry about scaling with buff spells, so I chose the Dragon Communion Seal since it has 0 weight and our equip load is already very tight. I also have the Sacrificial Axe in my second offhand slot to switch to after casting my buffs. When we have this axe equipped, we get a little bit of FP back with each enemy defeated, which helps recover the expense of our Taker's Flames skill. It also looks really awesome when we get both the blue and red particle effects corresponding to the FP and the HP regen from our two weapons. And that's about all regarding my playstyle. For my stats, at level 150, I have 55 vigor, 26 mind, 24 endurance, 34 strength, 20 dexterity, 10 intelligence, 50 faith, and 10 arcane. We definitely want a hefty amount of vigor for this build to maximize the benefit of our HP regen passive, which has a percentage-based component. 26 mind is enough to comfortably use our skill multiple times during fights, especially when combined with the FP regen of the Sacrificial Axe. 24 endurance is enough to get by with our equipment, but just barely. I will say that the Taker's Flame skill does consume quite a bit of stamina, so be sure to keep an eye on your stam bar. As for damage stats, I tried to strike a decent balance between strong skill damage and decently strong melee damage as well. I definitely prioritized faith, since that is the stat that corresponds to our skill. I went to the first soft cap of 50, but stopped there since you start to get diminishing returns after that. The rest of my damage points are partially in both strength and dexterity. These two get equal scaling, but I leaned a bit more into strength because of the two-hand strength bonus. Now for my armor, I'm really happy with the combo I cooked up for this one. I am using the Fire Knight helm, the Young Lion's chest armor and greaves, and the braided arm wraps. The red and gold color scheme matches perfectly with our red and gold sword, and this fit looks appropriately beefy for how powerful our weapon is. The helm has the added bonus of giving us an extra boost to our max health, stamina, and equip load. As for the braided arm wraps, I just chose this one because it was literally the only hands piece I could afford to use without going to heavy load. For my talismans, I first have the Shard of Alexander, to no surprise, which boosts the power of our skill. Then I have the Talisman of the Dread, making its debut appearance in this series, which boosts the power of all magma attacks, which in our case includes the Taker's Flames. Next I have the Ritual Sword Talisman, which boosts our attack power when at full health. This talisman complements our health regen nicely, since between the two of them, we will always be able to benefit from either health restoration or bonus damage with each use of our skill. And finally, I am using the Carrion Filigreed Crest to reduce the FP cost of our skill. This is very helpful with this weapon because of how expensive Taker's Flames is. For the Flask of Wonders Physick, I am using the Flame Shrouding Crack tier for more fire damage and the Green Burst Crystal tier for more stamina regeneration. And that is all for this build video on the Blasphemous Blade. This is seriously one of the most OP builds in the entire game. Here's an overview of my setup. Thank you for watching, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.